Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Friday. All right, guys, well, we're back to talk about all of the juicy housewives tea that is spilled in Andy Cohen's new book. You know, the book that's been heavily promoted on Watch What Happens Live. Well, thank you to All About the Real Housewives because they are mentioning it all, sharing it all with us, and we love every second of it. So, before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, show some love. Don't forget that we are going live today at 12 p.m. Eastern for Hot Messy Topics with So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. I will pin that link in the comments section. And with that, I say, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Yes. Oh, okay. We're getting into the weekend, and I never feel better than a good weekend. I've been hoping for Friday since Monday, you guys. But Andy Cohen, yes, sir, has come out with his third book, The Daddy Diaries, and he spilled all the juicy Real Housewives tea. Fortunately for us, a fan went online and shared exactly what Andy Cohen said about each city, and he didn't hold back. Below are the main takeaways regarding the Housewives content from this book, and this is in the All About the Real Housewives article, and I am going to address all of them. I mean, rightfully so, right? Why would we not address all of them? I feel like it's just appropriate at this point. So hold on. 1. Wendy Williams called him personally to pitch herself to join the Real Housewives of New York, and he said that he would have gladly taken her a few years earlier, but didn't think it was a good idea with all her newfound mental health struggles. Also, it was Andy's own idea to split Roni up, and he pitched the two shows to executives personally, but still dreaded telling the fans and the women the news. He knows how much everyone loved Roni. Third, oh, this one's interesting. He first approached Bethany Frankel about Legacy, but she didn't understand the point of the show. However, she did seem to open up to it and told him to make him an offer that she couldn't refuse. He then insinuated that she's two-faced for publicly bad-mouthing the show the day after it got announced when she was asking for an offer to do it the day before. Doesn't like Bethany trashing housewives in general. Also, Luann was not happy about Legacy and had valid concerns that they discussed, but Andy wouldn't go into them in the book. Leah immediately texted him and asked to be on Legacy with the old school bitches and not the reboot. Parting ways with Ramona was mutual but very zen. Her new guy didn't want to be on camera and she wanted a break anyways. He didn't like that she called Legacy lame, though, the loser show. And literally nothing about season 13 or the Ebony Ramona HR investigation was mentioned in this book. Says that the two all-time biggest leakers to the press are in the Roni cast, and they were guessing that it was maybe Luann and Jill. He talked to Carol for the first time in the first time in years, after his phone got hacked and accidentally kept calling her. A business-like exchange is how he described the conversation. Had many casting issues with Roni, dropouts with the new Roni, and Jenna Lyons was the last to be cast, and they really needed her. Okay, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Just for a second. He hates that the season 12 Kathy drama happened off camera and did not want Rinna to turn it into the main storyline of the season. Hates the constant leaks with Beverly Hills, but Rinna keeps swearing it's not her doing it. Hates the toxicity of fans on social media, but admits their unhappiness with the season kept him up at night. Hates Diana for not showing up to the reunion when she had so much to answer for, and he didn't understand her at all, and now holds the distinction of being the only housewife in history he's never, ever met. Feels like he's totally shit the bed on the season 12 reunion by not being tough enough on the Fox Force or asking enough follow-up questions, and he said that Garcelle was especially stressed before the reunion and that she texted him after to tell him how disappointed she was with how it went. Rinna texted him in the middle of the night after the season 12 reunion saying she's officially leaving the show. He texted her back saying, "That feels right." Then he found out weeks later from his team, Rinna took it all back and wasn't planning on quitting. He said he wished that she would have left on a high note, but also calls her departure a pause and alludes to her returning down the road. Couldn't believe people thought that Dorit Tomenbation was faked and says that Dorit is not a good enough actress to ever pull that off. And lastly, when it comes to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, producers were courting Leslie Grossman to become a housewife, and Andy didn't even know about it. Andy, you didn't know about Leslie Grossman? Grossman? What? Hold on. It keeps going. Like, when I say it keeps going, guys, I feel like it just never, ever, ever stops. Hold on. Real Housewives of Orange County. He kind of admits that he wanted Tamra fired, but implies he now regrets it. He also thought her podcast with Teddy would prohibit her from coming back, but Tamra convinced him otherwise. The OC season 16 reunion was short and phoned in. Says Noella and Heather were out of tune with each other. No mention of Casita hip driving OC into the ground or Heather's lukewarm return, but said he thought season 16 was good. Taylor Armstrong approached Andy directly about wanting to join OC after moving there, and he thought it wasn't the worst idea in the world. Vicky immediately found out Taylor was in talks with the show and was all up in his grill wanting to know if she had gotten a contract. Vicky cried to him after finding out Tamra was coming back and had to pull out of Watch What Happens Live for the announcement because she wouldn't stay composed. But later she did the show and wound up being sweet and supportive of Tamra, which made, I guess, Andy emotional. Meanwhile, the entire crew was masked up because of Vicky's anti-vax status. I mean, let's move on to New Jersey. New Jersey, never saw anyone get as drunk on Watch What Happens Live as Jennifer Aydin did in early 2022. New Jersey season 12 reunion was the most exhausting ever. Though Teresa seemed over the show at that point, she talked to him off camera about wanting off the Housewives for a few years. Mentions that several times he thought that season 13 would be Teresa's last season, and also that they really wanted Caroline Manzo back for season 13 because she was still chomping at the bit to take down Teresa. But he knew that they'd never agree on a contract for Caroline, and it sounds like they wanted her as a friend of, but she had too many expectations, aka full-time compensation. He ran the Caroline Manzo idea by Teresa, and she said that she would never film with her. He begged her to at least let them go through the negotiation process with her. That's kind of interesting to me, too, is like, why are you begging Teresa? You can tell her whatever you want. She is the talent. You guys are the network. Teresa is not going to walk away from a 1 point whatever million dollar deal. They say that she makes $1.1 million a season. I have a feeling it's a lot more than that. And she is not walking away from it. She calls it the Teresa show. She will go to bat with anyone. So why are you even passing just do the negotiations, drop Caroline Manzo into the mix, and then see how Teresa deals with it. Right? Like, this makes me actually think that when Kim D says that Teresa has way too much pull, it makes me feel like she kind of has way too much pull. But he really likes Jackie and didn't want to see her demoted, said that she had the greatest attitude about it, and she told him that she'd be the greatest friend of the show that the show has ever seen. And I'm sure Kim D and Kim G begged to differ. Teresa called Ramona low class off camera after the wedding invitation fiasco, and Teresa wanted Andy to attend and officiate the wedding, but he couldn't accept. Okay. Matt Rogers did a huge anti-Gia Giudice rant on Watch What Happens Live. They had to cut from airing because Andy didn't want it to look like an attack on a kid. And Kathy Wakili sent him tons of gifts for Lucy when she was born, despite not having talked to her in many years. Oh, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, though, because it doesn't stop. Thought early season 13 was subpar and prayed the season would get better. Sheree's original tagline for season 14 was, "There is no greater OG than she." Sheree hated it and demanded a redo. Thought that Marlo did too much on season 14. She's walking around on the show with an AK-47 and randomly firing at people. Thought the season 12 and season 13 reunions were terrible, but loved the season 14 reunion. Thought Marlo stole the show after they did a full 90 minutes about her past and present, much of which did not air. On his fallout with Nene, what a sad end to a relationship with someone I adored and put on a pedestal for years. The door is closed. And the day after Nene's racial discrimination lawsuit dropped, Amy Sedaris showed up to the set of Watch What Happens Live, screaming racist at Andy as a joke. People still ask him all the time when Nene's coming back, and he does not know what to tell them. Speaking of which, let's go to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for just a second, because this also gets into the mix. No real opinion on Jenny Facebook gate other than he was upset conservative media were all going after Andy for firing a woman based on her politics. Apparently, John Mayer comforted him about it. Didn't think he did a good job on the season 2 reunion. He hated Jen Shah's performance, thinks that she tried to deflect and blame her crimes on racism. Very bummed that Mary didn't attend, and the Maloof Adrienne Maloof, rule meant that she had to be fired because of it. He was also disappointed in the season 3 reunion. He thought Jen's absence would allow Heather and Meredith to be more honest and outspoken with their opinions, but it just did not happen. And he admits that he totally lost it at Meredith for not having stronger feelings about Jen's crimes. Furious at Jen for lying all throughout season 3 about her innocence, but Bravo still had to try and play nice with her to try and score a one-on-one interview before her sentencing. Begrudgingly admits that she was great for the show and admires her relentless optimism, and he clearly does not like her, though. Jen bought a bunch of crazy expensive gifts for Lucy that Andy was worried were paid for with money stolen from her victims, and that his whole office was worried the government was coming to take them back. Ay, ay, ay. Guys, there was a lot in this book. I think, honestly, we should all go get the book at this point. Too bad we don't do a book club, but we don't got time for that over here. So, with that, go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you think. And more importantly, before you go, don't forget that we are going live with So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey today at 12 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Pacific. And we'll see you so very soon. Bye, guys. Love you.